It's pretty cool though.
You think?
Yeah.
I think it's a cool idea. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, it's great.
Hello everybody out there, this is Neil Collins, owner, winemaker, co-winemaker of Low Madrone Wines, and my son Jordan Collins, who works with me making the wines. Due to the fact that we couldn't have a pickup party because of this terrible virus situation, we decided that we do a video series of tasting the wines so you can taste them with us if you choose at home. And we're going to do tasting in the Westy. This is our Westphalia, which we drive around, camping around the country. And we're going to go to places that we particularly enjoy on the Central Coast and vineyards where the wines come from, etc. So today we're sitting on the top of Cypress Mountain, which is pretty close to in the Adelaide district wine growing, but we're way up there. We're about 1,700 feet. If you could see to our right, we can actually see the ocean. So we're going to taste a few wines here in the Westy. I will add that it is okay for Jordan and I to be sat here in such close quarters because we have been in quarantine together for the last just about 3 weeks, so we're roomies. So we're going to start with the Grenache Blanc. Grenache Blanc from the Old Oak Vineyard, or Sheep Camp Creek as we sometimes like to call it, because it does have the creek flowing right through the property. Grenache Blanc planted for us from the Tables Creek clone on the Old Oak by Dave and Kathy Colmar. Head trained, dry farmed. Jordan is actually now starting to help with the management of that vineyard, and we're slowly converting it to organic. It was close, but we're trying to get it all the way to organically farmed. So let's taste it. See what we got. 2018 Grenache Blanc from the Old Oak Vineyard. As always with all of our wines, wine is produced with native yeast, native mallow. This particular wine was brought up in older neutral French oak pungens, which are 132 gallon barrels. Again, native yeast, native mallows. The whole point of what we try and achieve is to make wines that are reflections of their place. So farmed organically, minimum human influence, and then in the cellar, neutral wood, native yeast, native mallows. Let the wine shine through. What are you getting?
Really bright acidity from this year. These wines were some of the slower fermenting white wines that we've had in the past couple years. They didn't finish primary until about May of 2019, and this is the 2018 vintage, obviously. So I think that kind of gives them a different feel, a different mouthfeel, produce some good acidity.
We enjoy the long, slow ferments, cool, long and slow. A lot of people prefer to add some yeast, add some food or some DAP, or just to push those ferments through. We prefer to let them go naturally, let them go slowly. It makes a little nervous winemaking because that gives time for things to go wrong, but I believe you end up with great acidity, great complexity that you don't get when you rush stuff through. And I feel great acidity, as Jordan said, great minerality, which I always feel is kind of the hallmark of Grenache Blanc from the west side of Paso. And I should say this is from the Willow Creek district. Paso Robles appellation was split into 11 districts just a few years ago. Still Paso Robles appellation, but different districts based upon geology, climate, watershed. And so Willow Creek is very much limestone soils, calcareous, loamy, clay, a good amount of cooling influence coming in from the Templeton Gap. Reputedly the oldest vineyard in Paso Robles, the Uberoff, planted in 1887, which was 1 year after the formation of the Bristol Rovers football team, is a beautiful dry farmed own root Zinfandel vineyard. It goes to Turley Cellars. It's incredible that a vineyard can be that old and still producing phenomenal wines with great balance. So we're just down the road from there. So on the mouth, some minerality for sure. I get some apples, pears, maybe pear skins. Great anise character that I always relate directly to the limestone.
Maybe some lemon zest.
Yep, I get that. I mean, for me, the structure and the balance of Grenache Blanc is what's so beautiful about it. Just that searing, pretty acidity, which is part of that lemon citrus note, I suppose. And just great balance and length. Grenache Blanc always carries that little bit of tannin, which is a little bit unusual for white wine, but I definitely get it and I feel it, both with the Low Madron Grenache Blancs and the other wines we make for Tables Creek. Beautiful, beautiful tannin structure and mouthfeel and length. I had this, I think in the tasting notes with your shipment, you'll see we had this wine with a raw sea scallop with preserved lemon that Chef Jeffrey Scott made for us at a recent dinner, and it was one of the most perfect pairings I've ever had. It was just so light and so elegant and pretty, and they just work together so well. Cheers to the Grenache Blanc. Cheers, Jordan. Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
A bit weird being stuck in the back of the Westy-Grenache. What did
And
you really?
And lined everyone about what the wines.
What did you really think about it? You're fired.